Colossal embezzlement scandal just explodes. Recall how Michelle Obama had intended to change public education with her school lunch program? In the same way as other thoughts brought forth in Washington, it didn't function admirably by any means. Truth be told, the thing was a calamity, as it gave the idea that the guideline result was sustenance being tossed in the waste by understudies who hated the menu. It takes an extraordinary kind of speculation to reason that something like making out a menu for school snacks needs the intercession of Washington. What a slap in the face to neighborhood school directors to propose they can't make sense of how to sustain the children without assistance from Mrs. Obama and the specialists she blessed to go up against this venture. The way that the program was a disappointment has now been intensified by the way that David Binkle, the expert chef Mrs. Obama called to help outline her school lunch program, has now been accused of embezzlement and misappropriation of funds. The claims are that he submitted these offenses in the very school region where he worked while working on the very projects he composed. The LA Times reports that for years, David Binkle was hailed as a pioneer among school nutrition advocates for accomplishing a near Herculean task using produce and meats provided by local growers to greatly reduce the number of fatty meals served in the nation's second-largest school district. So Mrs. Obama called on Binkle to help her create her now-defunct school lunch program. The initiatives won the district numerous awards, drew praise from then First Lady Michelle Obama as she led a national push to combat childhood obesity, and earned Binkle appearances on TEDx Talks. Things being what they are, Mr. Binkle was cooking something other than the sustenance. It would appear that he was cooking the books, as well. But as he was revolutionizing meals for district students, prosecutors allege, Binkle illegally drowned roughly $65,000 of district's money into a private consulting firm he ran, then put some of that money into his own pocket. The 55-year-old appeared in court on Tuesday and pleaded not guilty to 15 felony counts including embezzlement and misappropriation of public funds. He posted a $220,000 bail and is scheduled to return to court in October. According to court documents, Binkle repeatedly misappropriated district funds in amounts ranging from $5,000 to $15,000 between 2010 and 2014. Prosecutors also claim that he falsified a claim to become a vendor with the district and failed to disclose outside financial interests. You need to ponder what might have a man who is as of now making around $150,000 a year to pull a trick this way. Sheer veracity and a misguided feeling of resistance, maybe. In any occasion, this is only one all the more humiliating point of interest that joins to Michelle's fizzled school lunch program. Presumably, Michelle won to be remarking on this. On the off chance that compelled to, she would most likely fall back on the Democrats' standard clarification for their disappointments, it's President Trump's blame. Or, then again, if that doesn't work, the Russians did it. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. HT Independent Journal Review, L.A. Times. America has been waiting for this. Brand new executive order officially ended funding to. Across the nation, we are seeing conservativist teams strike back against lethal, liberal policies. From the White House to each edge of the nation, leaders are moving back the dangerous motivation of the left that has tormented us for so long. In one express, the senator has marked an executive order that will clearly harm the goals of liberals. Via Daily Caller. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster cut off all funding going to abortion clinics in an executive order Friday. The order states that no grants, contracts, or state-administered federal funds can go to support abortion clinics, and McMaster directed the Department of Health and Human Services, DHHS, to exclude abortion clinics from South Carolina's Medicaid network, meaning that they will no longer receive funding through the social program, according to The Hill. There are a number of agencies, clinics and medical entities in South Carolina that receive taxpayer funding to offer important women's health and family planning services without performing abortions, McMaster said in a statement Friday. Taxpayer dollars cannot directly or indirectly subsidize abortion providers like Planned Parenthood. The government should not support abortions, said local pro-life activist Cheryl Freiberger in support of McMaster's order, according to the Post and Courier. We want abortion to be unthinkable. This is a big win for pro-life supporters in South Carolina. For a long time, the Americans had to suffer the injustice of seeing their hard-earned tax dollars go to fund abortions. This executive order will put a stop to it, ensuring that pro-life citizens are not helping an abominable practice. Be that as it may, don't anticipate that the abortionists will accept this without a fight. As of now, advocates inside Planned Parenthood decried the order, guaranteeing its association gives a wide range of healthcare services. Without a doubt, if that signifies just abortions. Planned Parenthood is routinely gotten out for its fraud and contemptibility. They don't give an assortment of health services for ladies, just tasks identified with and supporting abortions. Rather than supporting this butcher shop of a group, tax dollars ought to be going to genuine health facilities that give services to all residents. They ought to be financing groups that save lives, not take them. We should trust that will be the situation. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. HT The Daily Caller. President Trump executive order ruined immigrants. We've been waiting for this a long time. Not long after being sworn into office, President Donald Trump signed an executive order that called for extreme vetting to help get rid of potential terrorists that were hoping to go to the United States. That activity provided us with the principal clear sign that Trump would not get anything looking like reasonable and balanced coverage from the mainstream media. Trump's sound judgment approach towards guarding our country was met with stun and shock from the one-sided press. Democratic leaders took it from that point, and various them made Finnish bozos of themselves while endeavoring to turn Trump's order as discriminatory in nature. Who can overlook Senator Chuck Schumer's DNY crocodile tears while he was encompassed by cameras and microphones? What about House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi's DCA diverting interpretation of "this land is your land"? As shared by the Washington Times, we might need to keep the tissues convenient and plan for another difficult chime-in. Homeland Security announced on Monday that it will soon require more people to undergo in-person interviews before they can gain a more solid legal footing in the United States, carrying out yet another part of President Trump's extreme vetting executive order. While the so-called travel ban on 6 Muslim-majority countries has garnered most of the attention, it was just a temporary measure designed to give the government the space to tighten its regular checks so that it could be more adept at denying potential entry terrorists. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services announced one of those new policies Monday, saying it wants more people to face face-to-face interviews before they give permanent status in the country. It's an extraordinarily basic order that can possibly have a genuine effect in the fight to guard our country against potential terrorism. Who wouldn't need that? You can only vet people if you have information, and one of the best ways to get information is to talk to people and then compare that info to objective info you get from other places, he said. If you do not have these interviews, you are missing a fundamental step in the vetting process. Mr. O'Brien said the 2 categories USCIS has started with for mandatory interviews both presented fraud and security risks. In the case of relatives, he said the refugees will try to sneak into extended relatives or members of their clan who would normally not qualify under the letter of the law. Interviews will add another hurdle to the process, a move that will likely meet the resistance of activists and immigration lawyers. On the off chance that you have your sights set on an occupation, you don't simply waltz ideal in, select a work area, and begin working. Rather, You experience a screening procedure. Is that unfair as well? Whoops. We may have given Democratic leaders another thing to add to their rubbish platform. Jobs for everybody. No drug screening permitted. Put a conclusion to obtrusive inquiries questions. As unbelievable as that may sound, it's in a similar neighborhood of the perspective behind restriction to outrageous vetting. We can't envision why Democrats experience serious difficulties offering their agenda. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. HT Patriot Journal. The silence is broken. Chuck Schumer drops shocking announcement about government shutdown. Chuck Schumer is not really a prominent figure nowadays. As one of only a handful of Democrats left in D.C., he speaks to everything amiss with the government. As a central obstructionist, he is attempting to prevent the president's intents to make America great again. His current proclamations demonstrate exactly how stubborn and out of touch he is. What's more, how effectively spooked he can get. Via Daily Caller. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer has warned President Donald Trump that a government shutdown over the funding of a border wall will not accomplish anything. If the president pursues this path, against the wishes of both Republicans and Democrats, as well as the majority of the American people, he will be heading towards a government shutdown that nobody will like and which will not accomplish anything, Senator Schumer said in an email statement. Trump said Tuesday during a campaign rally in Phoenix that he is willing to allow a government shutdown if Democrats do not agree to fund a border wall. Now the obstructionist Democrats would like us not to do it, but believe me, if we have to close down our government, we're building that wall, Trump said to the crowd of lauding attendees. Let me be very clear to the Democrats in the Congress who are opposing the border wall and stand in the way of border security, you are putting all of America's safety at risk. For Democrats not to comprehend the way Trump works at this point, demonstrates how inept and tone-hard of hearing they are. Plainly Trump has no aim of actually closing the legislature down. He utilizes solid talk and intense articulations to express what is on his mind. Trump is utilizing this announcement to express how decided he is in getting the wall built. Democrats decline to see how Trump works. Nor do they comprehend why Americans adore him to such an extent. Chucky is stuck in an old, to a great extent obsolete state of mind. A state of mind that spins around harmful legislative issues, contemptibility, and excuse-making. Chuck and his buddies are on the losing side. Over the long haul, they will keep on losing. Trump won't shut down the government to get his way, however, he will harm the believability of Democrats so much, that they won't have much help come decision time. Chucky's whining is working directly with his hands. Schumer's doing the very thing Trump needs him to do. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. HT The Daily Caller. The silence is broken. George W. Bush just ruined Clinton and Obama with 10 epic words. Hurricane Katrina was a horrifying storm that hurt many individuals in a considerable measure of spots. Albeit a great many people discussed the repulsive impact that it had on New Orleans, the truth of the matter is that it decimated a vast swath of land that spanned over from the very tip of Florida and up through the southern United States to Ohio. It brought about a cost of over $96 billion and cost human lives in an overabundance of 1,800. At the point when Katrina happened, the fake news industrial complex, edgy for any news that they could heap onto the effectively appalling news they had already compiled for George W. Bush, turned out abounding with pre-composed stories of Bush's failure and forecasts this would lead eventually to his impeachment. The exertion would be progressing for the following year, with some on the left actually proposing that Bush had ordered the extreme climate to kill Black Americans. Truly, they truly did. In the event that you'll remember, When Hurricane Sandy crushed the coastline of the United States and many saw the Obama reaction as a lacking, the FNC responded with a group and extended yawn, not by any means wishing to burn through one moment of their valuable communicate time on the catastrophe, as they had other all the more pressing things to discuss like Obamacare. For Trump, Harvey's devastation has indeed achieved a fevered pitch, what with a Republican in the White House. However, George W. Bush has been there to defend Trump, as well as to disgrace Obama and even Clinton for their absence of help amid this catastrophic event. Bush addressed residents in Texas and guaranteed them, "Days are dark now, but they're going to get better!" Via Mad World News. In the wake of record-breaking rainfall in Texas, where tens of thousands of people have been displaced and many have died, former President George W. Bush showed up unexpectedly at a football practice where somber players were trying their best to concentrate on the game, even as many of their friends and family members were left devastated after the Hurricane Harvey. Bush delivered a message to the football players that they desperately needed to hear, and he embarrassed the Democrats with 4 words in the process. According to the IJR, Bush made an unexpected visit to the Southern Methodist University on Tuesday to deliver a powerful message, namely, that while the people of Texas may be experiencing unspeakable tragedy at the moment, things are going to get better. He continued, "Right now they're recovering. The key to recovery is to keep people safe, and then it will be rebuilding. And if you're from that area, you'll be amazed at the people who come down there to help. All kinds of people. And so the days are now, but they'll get better," added Bush. After days of torrential rain and fierce floodwaters, officials across southeast Texas are just beginning to tally the deadly toll taken by Harvey, which left 30% of Houston underwater and thousands of displaced people. As of Tuesday evening, officials believed that at least 22 people across Texas were dead by storm-related causes, and a number expected to rise in the coming days and weeks. Source: The Huffington Post. We have now seen 2 very strong and inspiring responses to Hurricane Harvey from 2 Republican presidents, George W. Bush and Donald Trump. This leaves us wondering where the Democratic presidents are in the wake of one of the most devastating storms the United States has ever had seen. In fact, the record-breaking rainfall in Texas has left tens of thousands of displaced, and many dead. Where is Barack Obama? Where is Bill Clinton? While it's encouraging to see this kind of reaction from the previous president, it is not uncommon to hear the sound of crickets from the left when it comes to this storm. Sadly, with regards to the press, who have lost their journalistic souls to the predations of regressivism, this current storm's frightful impacts just fill in as a reason for their further assaults on the Trump administration. Facts are condemned. I want to endeavor to imagine that it's unmistakably a straightforward strategy of deceit and intellectual untrustworthiness with regards to alleged reporting nowadays, when the grievous measure of a storm's ruthlessness comes toward the finish of regardless of whether the president is a Republican or a Democrat. What's more, it's greatly tragic commentary when the left claims the mantle of looking after humankind when they are the initial ones to betray their fellow man. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. HT Mad World News.